and welcome to Crystal Hall number 3 here in Baku, Azerbaijan. So this is
you can guarantee that it's the other way around. They've looked at the Worlds as a training ground and preparing ground for this competition as the host.
Yeah,
it's kind of like back to, it was the South Korea Japan World Cup in football 2002. They prioritised just for that competition. They ended up getting the semi-finals. And talking of semi-finals,
here's the first one. Farida Azizova of Azerbaijan, the world number 8, and this is the biggest moment of her career. No major events to her name, only 20 years old. And here from Sweden, Elin Johansson, the world number 1. Silver medal at the Grand Prix in Manchester last year, and certainly an athlete who is going to be for one to beat here. She won the World Grand Prix final in Mexico last year, took the gold in the biggest event of 2014. And the 24-year-old from Sweden, certainly the favourite to take gold here, but well, we've said that before against the Azeri fighter, and the Azeri fighter, we look at what happened with the chap last night who was absolutely on fire and took the gold deservedly.
and I think so important here in terms of forgetting about the form book and getting into the meat of the match here. Yeah, Elin Johansson, it's about the start that she has here, because Azizova is a confidence fighter, and she likes to operate from being points up. But Elin Johansson has a lot of power, and as they both move into that open stance again, it is the Swede who's just trying to hang on and protect a little bit here.
Azizova is certainly taking this to her opponent, and the crowd a little bit nervous. That was an attempted headshot. Absolutely a good attempt from Johansson there with the left foot. Azizova has got to be careful. She knows she's going to be in a real contest here.
That's the power I was talking about. Okay, Johansson took a sore one, a dull one at the top of the thigh, but that push kick there from Elin Johansson, she is so solid on her standing leg. It's not so much the kicking leg, it's the balance that she has on her standing leg. We saw Jade Jones execute a similar technique where she hopped across the ring. It's the non-kicking foot that gives you the balance, obviously, but Elin Johansson is very steady, and the Swede is using that to effect, not on the scoreboard, but Azizova knows that she's up against a strong fighter.
Yes, we saw that. We saw this situation in the quarterfinal where Johansson is almost sort of just getting a feel of her opponent a little bit. She's just taking her time and using this as a sort of a fact-finding mission. Well, she's found out a fact there, because Azizova completely kicked through the defence of Johansson. That had some power in it.
Absolutely, that back leg turning kick from Azizova. She just decided, okay, you're waiting, I'm going to go. And she went with absolutely everything. And takes a useful little lead there into that open stance again.
And this crowd doesn't need much of an invite to get behind their athlete. 1 point on the board. And the kids are jumping up and down. They're loving it. It's great to see in the crowds.
Again, opposite foot in front from both fighters. That has been a feature of it. If you're brave enough to reach in, as Azizova was, that's how she scored.
Yep, absolutely. Powerful kick straight through Johansson's defence. Johansson has got a fight on here. Another Korean coach, of course, Korea, the homeland of Taekwondo.
Finding a home for the shot was Johansson at the start, but a great turning kick there. That's what made the difference. As you said, Adrian, the Korean coaches are now all over the world. You saw with Italy or Spain or France for many years. The Iranians likewise employed those coaches, took in the knowledge, and now what you're seeing is a lot of former players who've appropriated that knowledge. They are now doing the job. Yeah. You can think of the British team, the French team, Spanish team, even here with Sweden, former German athletes.
Yeah. And of course the powerhouse nations of Taekwondo. Korea used to dominate Taekwondo at World Championship level. They used to be winning gold, silver, bronze. And that's not happening. You look and the medals are being spread all over the place. Korea is still a strong nation, but they're nowhere near dominating.
Well, that's what happens when you make it into an entirely transparent scoring system that rewards somewhat physicality and somewhat technical skill. It gives you that medal spread, and at the moment, the It's working out well for Farida Azizova. Tries again, stay on her feet, does well. That shows you the strength.
Well, Johansson there, faking with the left foot, going up high, then bringing the right foot up. She's looking for that headshot. Of course, scores 3 points.
She's also looking for the Kyungo. Azizova doing well to hang on there, moves round to the centre of the ring.
We've seen that with all the Azeri fighters. They've been very good at not being forced out the ring. They don't want to even give a half point away.
That comes from fitness. That comes from balance, control, awareness of what's going on. And she doesn't mess about there as she takes that right leg turn and takes it again. And it comes down to, so this is, for me, the stance that would suit. This is not going to work for Johansson here. She can defend from this position. She's got to switch stance because she knows the back leg of the Azeri is going to fire in. She tries one of her own. It's a battle of tactics at the moment, and it's the Azeri who's taking the lead.
Azizova closed the space down quickly when she saw Johansson coming in with the kick. And this one, very tight. Johansson won't be worried. There's still plenty of time to go. But at the moment, she'll be concerned that she hasn't been able to lay a finger on her opponent so far. And we're halfway through. We're more than halfway through this contest. Listen to the crowd.
Well, will they have anything more to cheer about in the second round? There's Johansson, fires that shot in. She got it right this time. She took the same tactics as Azizova, used the back leg turning kick. And the Azeri fighter, well, I couldn't obviously understand the coach, but she was saying, keep yourself leaning back, present a small target. But Johansson found a home for that shot. And tries it again. Well blocked though.
So this one is tight. Azizova, the 20-year-old, back in the corner. She's hardly breathing. She's obviously very, very fit. She has worked so hard for this event in her home country. And she's not being pushed here at all. Here's going to be the scoring kick from Johansson. That was quite low, but just managed to get it.
Well, that's the power that the Swede packs in her shot. She's a solid competitor in every sense of the word, and it is that standing leg power that she's got.
Yeah.
She's doing well to stay in this one here.
Really interesting seeing the coach there. He's imploring Johansson to go in first, but then go for the secondary kick. He's believing that, and I think we've seen a couple of times, sometimes as is over, the head is there, and if she comes in with the kick and then follows on, just as we saw Jay Jones do a few times yesterday, you could see with the hand movement, he was imploring that move, he believes, will work. And of course, it will score 3 points if it does. Let's see what happens here. You feel that the head kick will settle this match. You think that one big score will change this big time.
Azizova tries with the punch and the shot on the inside. She takes the second of the two. That gives her a 2-point gap here. Elin Johansson now has to become an attacking force. Not her strongest suit, but she is good off of the front leg. She likes to shuffle across the mat. Likewise, tries with the head kick there. Good evasive tactics there from the Azeri.
Azizova now well aware the clock is starting to count down. Possibly going into a slightly more defensive mode here as we enter the last minute.
She has to stay active because it's another super shot from the Swede there. And with the Kyungo hanging against Farida Azizova, can't defend too soon.
Yep.
And all of the momentum that she had in the first round has ebbed away here, and Johansson's confidence is up. Nice movement there from Azizova. That's one of the subtleties of Taekwondo there. Saw the kick, a slight pivot, finds herself back in the centre of the ring and keeps herself in a safe zone. But she's far from safe in this one from the Swedes. Advances. There's a nice shot though, 4-2.
What a time to get another point with 40 seconds left on the clock. And Johansson is going to have to open up soon. The world number one could be in trouble. We've seen the world number one on the men's side go out earlier on. Could we lose the world number one? In the female category, that was so close to a head kick. Azizova does brilliantly to keep away from that.
Azizova actually picked her shoulder up there, saw the head kick, used the shoulder roll, blocked it with her shoulder, and that shows you the radar that the athletes have got. There's a database of kicks and moves running in their mind, but there's also the proprioception, the vision to avoid And Azizova is now in pure avoidance mode in the last 10 seconds of this third round.
And there's desperation here from Johansson, because I've never seen her do a spinning kick before. She's trying to do anything. She's bringing anything out to try and score. She's got to score 3 points very quickly. The punch comes in from Viziri. She scores a point with the punch. Johansson tries the head kick, but it's not going to happen. And what a victory for Azerbaijan. The world #1 departs here in Baku. John, that was incredible. What a finish.
Exactly right. Farida Azizova. She takes the acclaim of the crowd, but what I'm interested to see is how cool and composed she looks here. She's all business. She's here for the gold. There's no question about it. Tremendous finish, but not a flicker of emotion. She's only halfway up her journey, a few steps to go, but that's an excellent win there for Farida Azizova.
Very businesslike. Not even a congratulations from her coach. She just holds out the mouthguard case and says, there you go, put it in there, let's go back, there's a job still to do. The world #1 departs here, and then we're going to have an Azeri in the final. Expect a pretty hot atmosphere tonight, 5 points to 2. And Johansson just ran out of ideas towards the end, didn't she?
Well, it's an interesting conversation in terms of running out of ideas or someone subduing you so much that you're bereft of ideas, and that's what happened to Johansson. She couldn't find the way through. She got the momentum in the second round. She was using that front leg well, but Azizova, as we see the super slow-mo of the punch, she had an answer for everything. And not only an answer for everything, an answer at the right time.
Well, that punch possibly wasn't the biggest punch in the world we've seen, but it was enough to score on the judges. And Azerbaijan, that punch didn't make a difference.